Hey, what's up everybody? We're going to talk about pre-trip inspection for your Class A commercial driver's license. Actually, I'm going to talk about everything, not of course in this video, but I do have permission from the school, from the instructor, to go and video the course. I will video the different skills portions of the test. Straight line back, the offset, alley dock, parallel, etc. I am going to video the instructor doing it with the school camera. They're going to edit together, put it up. I'm going to try to get that put on my YouTube page, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not. So we're going to find out if it's going to work or not. We're going to talk about the pre-trip. Why? Because the pre-trip has a lot of stuff you need to know, and a very specific way you've got to describe it. I believe there's a maximum, at least in the state of Nebraska, of 47 points as far as things you got to mention. At least for what I did today. Everybody is going to have to do the in-cab. Everybody is going to have to do at least one section of the tractor trailer. That can be the front end, the engine bay, the midsection from the firewall to the rear of the tractor or trailer, or they can do the whole thing. You will also, everybody will also have to do a light check and the coupling. Coupling, you'll have to describe every single part, why it's important, etc., etc. In cab, same thing. You got your gauges, your seat belt, safety equipment, everything that you would use. Stuff you look at, stuff you check every day that you don't think to mention. Mention everything you can think of, why it's important, how to tell if it's important, how to tell it's working properly. Explain everything you're doing every step of the way. When I did it today, I explained everything every step of the way, from turning the key, to checking stuff's in neutral, to push the putting on the spring brakes, releasing, etc. When you're doing your brake check, remember key on, brakes released, starts rolling backwards, put it in gear. Remember your truck's not on, key's just on. Remember how to do your 3-point brake check. Also remember how to test your brakes. When you back your tractor up, how do you test your brakes? You got to test your trailer brakes, you got to test your parking brakes, and your service brakes. Learn your specifics. Numbers. Learn your thicknesses, your depths, your pressures. What's normal, what's not, what happens if it drops below this or that. If you don't know where something is or what something is, follow hoses. If you find a power steering reservoir, you follow the hose, guess where it's going to lead? Power steering pump. Follow the air lines. Where is that going to lead? To the air compressor. When you line the air compressor, you can look at it. Is it belt driven? Is it belt driven? Is it gear driven? Look. Study. You're allowed to use a guide on the test. Your instructor a lot of times will have a guide on them if you're going to a school. If you are not going to the school, in your CDL manual there is a guide you can use. You shouldn't need it. If you know how to do a pre-trip, the stuff that you check every day, this is the stuff you will do in the exam. The only thing that differs with the exam is that you have to point to it, explain what it is, explain why it's important, and explain why you're checking it, and if it were bad, why would it be bad? You're going to check the tread depth on your tires on your trailer. What are you checking for? Well, it's got to have a minimum tread depth of 2/32 by federal law. Look on the outside of the tire. Got to make sure that it's not worn. Got to make sure there's no belting material going through. You got to look at the rim. No illegal welds, no cracks. Look at the lug nuts, make sure they're tight, make sure there are no shiny spots, no rust spots. Make sure you got no oil leaking. Look in the back. Make sure you got no oil on the brake linings, indicating that maybe you have a seal blown. Make sure your linings are the right thickness. Your linings cannot be more than 1/4 of an inch thick, or it cannot be less than 1/4 of an inch thick. If it gets to 1/4 of an inch, you got to have them replaced. Your slack adjusters. What are you checking for? Point to them. Tell them what they are. Why are you checking them? What would you check for? How would you check them? You would release the brakes, you would pull on them, and they should not move any more than an inch. If they do, you have to get them fixed. Not only fixed, but by someone who is certified to fix them. Understand the specifics. Understand exactly what you need. And use common sense, really. I mean, that's about all it is with a pre-trip. The obvious things. There are some little things that you don't think to check. In cab, defrosters. Got to check the defrosters. You got to turn the heat to the floor. Check your heat on the floor. All your gauges. Check your gauges. Explain them. You turn your tractor on. Obviously, your water's not going to heat up right away. Say your kind of temperature is going to gradually rise as it warms up. Same with your oil heat. Oil pressure, make sure oil pressure is in normal operating range. Mention your ABS light when it comes on. Mention it should go out. If it does not go out, you got problems. Explain your warning signals. You got low air. What's your air warning going to be? Yeah, you have to have a visual warning. A lot of tractors have an audible warning as well. Safety equipment, explain it, explain where it's at, explain different things about it, how it's mounted. Understand your lights, where they have to be, what they do, use the proper term for them. Look at them, inspect them, make sure they're attached properly, they're not broken, not missing, make sure they're the proper color. Understand what the proper colors have to be. Inspect everything that you can. I'm not going to explain in depth what you need to check. I'm not an expert at it. I'm not an instructor, I'm a student. It'd be kind of foolish of me to tell you everything about it, right? I am going to post a link down below that will have the Nebraska DMV commercial motor vehicle pre-trip inspection. For the state of Nebraska, that's what they expect. You do not have to get under the vehicle. You point, you tell them why it's important, what you would check for, how you would check it, what makes it significant. They'll understand exactly what they want. You may not be able to understand what all the parts are watching it. If you go to school, when you start doing your pre-trip every day, you have a question, your instructor will tell you what that part is. You know? I didn't know what a turbo was. I knew they were on trucks, I knew what they were for, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know where it was located. Same with the air compressor. You know? The more you do your pre-trip, the more you're going to understand what these parts are. You're going to understand where they're at, why you check them, how you check them. And it's going to be obvious. Go through everything. Even if you don't know if it's on the test or not, go through it. Go through it. Every little thing that you see that you may or may not think is significant, go through it. Check it. Understand why you're checking it, how you're checking it. If it's on the test, awesome. If it's not, oh well, you named it. Your instructor's happy. Your instructor, your examiner, would rather have you name way too much than not enough. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'm going to post that video below. I'm not going to go too in depth. Watch the video, you'll understand it. If you don't understand it, go out there and look at the tractor. It'll come to you. It's used as a guide. Enjoy it. Like I say, I'm going to go and video the course, kind of walk around, show you what stuff is, kind of explain it. I am going to get the numbers, exact numbers from my instructor as far as the lengths of this and the boundaries. Just because I want to be accurate with my information. I don't just want to say, hey, parallels over there, offsets here, straight lines here, and alley docks there. I want to have the exact numbers so you kind of know what you're looking for. or what you're going to be looking at. I am going to video him doing all the maneuvers. I really hope that I can put them on my YouTube page, but if I can't, I can't. We're just going to hope for the best. Anyway, guys, I thank you for watching. I know it wasn't much of a video. I know it was long. I know it was annoying. But please enjoy the link below. Thanks, guys.